In the quiet hours of the night, when most of Niamey was wrapped in darkness and silence, a sudden and alarming incident shattered the calm, sending waves of fear, confusion, and unanswered questions across Niger's capital and far beyond its borders. At approximately midnight, just a few minutes past 12, unidentified individuals launched what appeared to be a remote bombardment targeting the vicinity of Niamey's international airport, a strategic and highly sensitive national asset. The sound of explosions pierced the night air, echoing across nearby neighborhoods, jolting residents awake and triggering immediate panic among civilians who had no warning and no clear understanding of what was unfolding around them. For nearly an hour, from shortly after midnight until close to 1 o'clock in the morning, the situation remained tense and fluid. The attack, described by witnesses as a form of long-range or indirect bombardment, raised immediate concerns about the methods used and the level of planning involved. Unlike conventional ground assaults, this type of attack suggests a deliberate attempt to strike from a distance, reducing direct exposure for the attackers while maximizing psychological impact. For ordinary residents living around the airport area, the night became one of fear and uncertainty as rumors spread faster than verified information, and every loud sound was interpreted as another incoming strike. Niamey's international airport is not just a transportation hub. It is a symbol of national connectivity, sovereignty, and security. Any threat directed toward it carries weight far beyond physical damage. It touches on national pride, economic stability, and the broader perception of Niger's internal security environment. As news of the bombardment filtered through the city, people in surrounding districts reported scenes of confusion, with families rushing indoors, others attempting to flee the area, and many simply frozen by fear, unsure of where safety truly lay. In response, Nigerian security forces moved swiftly. According to initial accounts, units were rapidly deployed to contain the situation, assess the threat, and secure the airport and surrounding neighborhoods. Their quick reaction was crucial in preventing further escalation, but the very fact that such an attack could be launched raised difficult and uncomfortable questions. Who were the attackers? From where exactly was the bombardment carried out? And perhaps most importantly, what message were they trying to send? The absence of immediate clarity only deepened public anxiety. By the early hours of the morning, while the explosions had ceased, uncertainty lingered heavily in the air. Residents remained on edge, security patrols increased, and the city entered a state of heightened alert. In situations like this, silence can be as unsettling as chaos. Without confirmed details, speculation thrives, and speculation in a tense security environment can be dangerous. This incident does not occur in isolation. Niger, like much of the Sahel region, has been grappling with complex security challenges for years. Armed groups, criminal networks, and shadowy actors have exploited porous borders, difficult terrain, and political transitions to advance their agendas. Even when responsibility is not immediately claimed, attacks of this nature often fit into broader patterns of pressure, intimidation, and strategic signaling. The timing of the attack is also significant. Midnight assaults are designed to exploit reduced visibility, lower civilian movement, and the psychological vulnerability that comes with being attacked while asleep. For the attackers, the goal may not necessarily have been mass casualties or physical destruction, but rather fear, disruption, and a demonstration of reach. By targeting an airport, they strike at a location that represents state authority, international engagement, and military readiness all at once. For the Nigerian government and security institutions, the challenge now extends beyond the immediate response. Managing public perception, maintaining calm, and preventing misinformation from spreading are just as critical as identifying and neutralizing the perpetrators. In the modern information environment, narratives form quickly, and adversaries often rely on confusion to amplify the impact of their actions. Eyewitness accounts from neighborhoods near the airport paint a picture of a city momentarily caught off guard. People described waking up to loud detonations, unsure whether they were hearing explosions, aircraft activity, or something else entirely. Parents reportedly gathered their children into single rooms. Lights were switched off in some homes, and phones lit up with frantic messages asking the same question over and over again. What is happening? The psychological toll of such incidents should not be underestimated. Even if physical damage is limited, the emotional impact can linger long after the last explosion fades. Trust in everyday safety is shaken, and normal routines suddenly feel fragile. For a population already accustomed to security alerts and regional instability, each new incident compounds existing stress. International observers are also likely to pay close attention to developments following this attack. Niger occupies a strategically important position in the Sahel, both geographically and politically. Any sign of increased instability, especially involving critical infrastructure like an international airport, has implications that extend beyond national borders. Airlines, foreign missions, humanitarian organizations, and investors all monitor such events closely, adjusting their risk assessments accordingly. As dawn approached and Niamey slowly emerged from a night of tension, the focus shifted from immediate fear to pressing questions. Was this an isolated act or part of a broader plan? Were the attackers testing response times, probing defenses, or sending a warning? And how prepared is the state to prevent similar incidents in the future? Security experts often note that attacks involving indirect fire or remote bombardment require specific capabilities, including access to weapons, knowledge of the terrain, and some level of coordination. This suggests that whoever carried out the attack was not acting entirely at random. Understanding these details will be essential for authorities as they conduct investigations and reassess protective measures around sensitive sites. At the same time, the role of the public becomes crucial. In moments like this, cooperation between civilians and security forces can make a significant difference. Reporting suspicious activity, avoiding the spread of unverified rumors, and following official guidance all contribute to stabilizing the situation. However, such cooperation depends heavily on trust, transparency, and effective communication from those in charge. For many Nigerians, the attack serves as a stark reminder that the security challenges facing the Sahel are far from resolved. Despite military operations, regional alliances, and political changes, the threat landscape remains complex and adaptive. Actors who feel pressured or marginalized often resort to asymmetric tactics, striking where they believe the impact will be greatest. The confusion that gripped neighborhoods around Niamey's airport during the attack highlights another critical issue: emergency preparedness. How quickly do residents receive accurate information? Are warning systems effective? Do people know where to seek shelter or how to respond during such incidents? These are questions that governments across the region continue to grapple with, often learning painful lessons only after crises occur. As investigations continue, the silence of the attackers remains telling. In some cases, responsibility is claimed quickly to maximize propaganda value. In others, anonymity is intentional, designed to keep authorities guessing and the public anxious. Each approach carries its own strategic logic, and deciphering that logic will be key to understanding what comes next. What is clear is that the events of that night have added another chapter to Niger's ongoing struggle with security and stability. The quick intervention of security forces prevented the situation from spiraling further, but prevention is always more effective than response. Strengthening intelligence, improving surveillance around critical infrastructure, and enhancing regional cooperation will likely be central themes in the days ahead. For now, Niamey returns cautiously to its routines, but with heightened awareness. The memory of explosions in the dead of night does not fade easily. Every aircraft taking off or landing, every siren in the distance, carries a new weight of meaning. The city listens more closely, watches more carefully, and waits for answers. This incident is not just about what happened between midnight and 1 o'clock. It is about what it reveals regarding vulnerabilities, resilience, and the evolving nature of threats in Niger and the wider Sahel. It is a reminder that security is not a static achievement, but a continuous process, one that demands vigilance, adaptation, and unity between state institutions and the people they serve. As more details emerge, the narrative will become clearer. Until then, the attack on the outskirts of Niamey's airport stands as a sobering signal, one that underscores the fragile balance between normal life and sudden disruption in a region still navigating uncertain times.